There you go. In progress. My apologies. All right. So the main thing and the goal of today is to really go over our onboarding, how we're kind of implementing with the new system, what all is actually happening on here, just to make your life a little bit easier. And then to open it up to like a Q&A as well, too, to go over what all is accessible. So first thing first, I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in our chat section throughout this. So here's the first thing. And if you haven't received an email that looks like this, with this this horrible mugshot of myself up here, please feel free to put your email inside the chat section, so that way we can actually go through and make sure that you're on our leadership distribution list to help out with this immediately. So first thing first, I'm going to talk about pretty much all of these items that are available on here. There is a quick walkthrough video. So if after today you're like, I really want to listen to that guy talk a little bit more, you'll have that opportunity. Or if you're having trouble falling asleep, that's accessible on here too. All right, but the first thing is kind of our FAQs and best practices. So number one on here is basically with the new CommandMC onboarding, with the AMS system that is launched, what all are we actually providing for the agents? So a couple things to highlight on here. First and foremost, everything that we were setting up before, we are still setting up as of right now as well too. All right, we've actually added in a few extra items in addition to what we were setting up previously to make your life a little bit easier. So first thing first on here, we are still setting up the K2B email. And after the hubbub of the new AMS system happens, you're going to be hearing from us very soon, reaching out, basically just saying, how are you utilizing the K2B.com email moving forward? Is this going to be part of the actual onboarding expense? Is this going to be part of G's, just for the agents to actually choose if they want to? So you're going to be getting a nice little reach out from us very, very shortly. But then on top of that, we're also setting up DocuSign accounts for the agents and linking that up on there too. If you're still utilizing Dotloop, we're setting that up for the agents as well, setting up their website and adding in additional pages that we're going to highlight in a second on here. We're also going through and making sure that their app is up and running and integrated with everything possible, setting up K2B Connect, ensuring that all the information is feeding from their market profile and their My Profile section now to the white pages. We're still setting up Homekeeper, Porch on here, their marketing profile, even the My Profile section, which is basically the new white pages, Smartplans, and then even more. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So with the questionnaire, or how will the questionnaire change since the agents are filling out the information through CommandMC onboarding instead of going through Winmore? So previously, you may have seen our questionnaire before, which I always joke around, ask for basically everything except blood type at the end of the day. And now, instead of about 25 to 30 questions, it's getting to 5 to 7. It's currently at about 8. So what's going to happen on here, and we move this over here. I like to have things in order. So this is what our setup questionnaire is going to look like right now. And this is going to go through a nice little kind of overhaul change as well too, but it's going to ask for preferred first and last name on here, what the command username and password are. Since the agents are now setting this up, we're going to be asking them what did they create, so now we can adjust this for them. All right, what's their personal email so we can send back over that setup complete email to them? What is their mobile phone? We're asking that for the time being until we know 100% that agents are going to put that in every time. Do they have a business email that they want to utilize, or do they want to use their K2B email? And then what would they like as that K2B email and website? In addition to, do they have a headshot and a logo? All right, so if you remember our prior questionnaire, it asked a bunch of information about social media platforms, about designations, anything and everything on there. Now it's just the nitty gritty, similar to our existing agent questionnaire, which this is off track and off topic, but I would highly suggest advising all agents to fill out. All right, definitely take advantage of that. Now, a couple reasons why this is still crucial is one, the agents, when we're asking them what their preferred first and last name is, if their name is Jonathan legally, but they go by John, this is a great way for us to adjust that for them. And then also, this is where we're going to get that username and password on here to help them out. So whenever they actually complete their AMS system and they get onboarded, they choose what that is, then we'll be able to adjust that for them. All right, so we're still going to have all of our different questionnaire options. So we're going to have our normal questionnaire on here, which is that one that I just showed you on. We're going to have our standard transfer questionnaire, which is KW to KW. So not transferring from, Berkshire to KW or Compass to KW, but an internal option on here instead. All right, and this is really sad, but by doing this, because I'm so vocal with my hands, I just hit 10,000 steps on there. So, but then we're also going to have on here one for agents returning to KW. All right, we have one for cappers or R2 agents, mega agents that are now joining directly and to make sure that we expedite their turnaround time. One for expansion agents that are in multiple market centers so we can highlight all locations. One for existing agents, which once again, at the end of this meeting, I'm going to actually show you. And if you, I don't believe it's on the link that I shared on there, so I apologize. But if you want to schedule me, myself, Joe, or even Elizabeth, I'm putting you up for services on here too, to join on a team meeting, we can to highlight anything and everything that's available. And we'll go over that existing agent questionnaire with the agents too. All right, we even have a hidden agent one for agents that haven't alerted their current brokerage that they're coming over quite yet. So this is where we'll actually get them fully set up with everything possible without actually making them live. So their website won't display live. We're not going to make sure that we're going to make sure that their app is not live. Nothing's actually going out for them. And then obviously one for admins that are now agents, staff, and then teams. All right, so my fun thing that I get to talk about is what new items are we actually providing for agents during the new onboarding process? So first and foremost, everything that I kind of highlighted before is still going to be accessible on there. So setting up the email, setting up DocuSign, the websites, their app, anything and everything we're currently doing right now is going to be available on there. We're now also setting up Calendly accounts for agents. This is one of the 3 new items that we're setting up that are external to the Command platform, external to the MyKW technology or just KW technology in general. And this is one of the biggest items that agents have been requesting for a while, because it's going to be a great way for them to highlight, hey, here's my link that you can utilize to access everything possible, so that way if they want to go on there and schedule a time that works best for them and their significant other, whoever might be purchasing or selling with them, they can do that to book times with the agents. We are setting up Zoom accounts for the agents. Obviously, 2023 is here. 2020 is beyond us, obviously, but Zoom is here to stay. So I think the agents may use Zoom at least once or twice during their career as a real estate agent. We're also making a digital business card for them as well, too, that they can now share. So obviously there is a digital business option or digital business card option through the Command mobile app, but this is going to be a more visual one that they can utilize, and they can download the Blink app to use for free too. All right, we're also adding in all of these extra pages. So this is coming soon. We are adding them in for cappers right now and then slowly integrating them for all agents. We've had some issues running into it recently, so we're slowly rolling this one out to make sure that everything is 100% correct for y'all. One of my personal favorites is an upgraded company page. Previously, this was just text only. This is now going to be a little bit more vibrant with images as well, but it's going to be meant to do 2 things for the agents. One, whenever they get set up with their new website, this is going to be a page that'll not only highlight why the potential buyer or seller should utilize them as an agent, but also if they're thinking about joining as a real estate agent on here, why they should join Keller Williams as well too. All right, so a great way to increase their profit share and to help to recruit for the office as well. All right, then of course we have our brand assets on here. All right, this is going to be for all agents. We're going to add inside all the different office logos on here to help out, to ensure that everything is accessible in the design section. This is something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time that we're finally doing at this time. For our 30-day challenge, it is now a Smartplan. This is automatically added in for all agents whenever they join moving forward. And it's going to be 30 tasks they can do in 30 days or less. And it's going to come out 1 task at a time each day to help them out on here. All right, this is really meant for them to come on here and 1, learn more about the Command platform, 2, learn a little bit more about our services and how they can utilize everything that's available for them, and 3, learn what they're going to set up as a smart plan, what it's going to look like whenever they actually send this out to their clients. So this is a great way to utilize this. And then a plethora of database import notifications on here. So at the end of the day, we want to get those agents up to that 201 plus club, and this is going to help out tremendously. So we're going to hound them for database information. All right. So the best practice for the agent to fill out the questionnaire, our new 7 to 9 question questionnaire on here. So I definitely said for the first month during the transition, 100% trial and error to see what will work the best on there. But we've kind of come up with 3 options that may help out. So option number 1, and this is where I can open up these canned responses in a section as well too. Option number one is going to be that the agent is going to fill out the command onboarding system or the AMS platform, and then they'll simultaneously fill out our questionnaire. Now, the reason that they'll want to do it at the exact same time is because they're going to be creating their username and password. So inevitably, we want to set this up where the agents won't forget what that login and password is right away. We want to make sure that we have that immediately. So I'll put this over inside our chat section as well too. So if y'all want to come through on here and get a jump on what I'm going to show next, please feel free. All right. Option two is where the agent's going to fill out that new AMS system in person in the office. All right. And once they fill it out in person, you can have them fill out our questionnaire at the exact same time. So that way it's being done simultaneously. Or option number three is where the office staff is going to go through and actually fill this out for the agents, similar to how y'all may have been doing it before in Winmore. And then we'll be able to actually go through and have that questionnaire filled out at the same time. And then we can get everything adjusted. Ideally, most offices are going with the number two option. So that way they can have the agent fill everything out. They can answer questions for them too around, what account and routing number should I use? Who should I put as my beneficiary? Who is my sponsor? Those are all big things that we'll definitely want to highlight. And we do have an onboarding canned response section. And look at this. Look at all these anonymous animals that have joined in over here. Thank you, guys. All right. So we do have a bunch of different canned response options that'll help y'all out on here. So number one is where the agent is doing everything. All right. So in this case, we actually have a nice little quick canned response that you can send to the agent and CC us on it. So that way our support team, whenever we receive this, can send out the actual questionnaire immediately. So this is going to say to the agent, like, welcome aboard. You're about to receive an email from no-reply@system.kdb.com with the subject line of KDB invitation. Once you receive that email, please fill out the SLM questionnaire at the same time. All right, and then down here, you'll notice it'll say, SLM, please welcome blank to Keller Williams as a blank agent. So the first blank is for the agent's name, and then the second, not blank, is for the type of agent they are listed, that are listed below. Type of agent, let's say that are. There we go. Editing this as we do it. All right, so that way you can put inside, are they a new agent? Are they a transfer agent, returning cap, or whatever it might be on there? So that way, when the agent receives that AMS email from new-reply@system.kdb.com, they'll know to do our questionnaire that we'll send to them at the exact same time. All right, option number two is where the agent is actually filling it out in person with the office staff. So in this case, this isn't really something that you'll need to send to them, but this is the canned response that we came up with just to kind of alert them while they're in person with you. You don't really have to say welcome aboard when they're there in person. You can if you'd like. But in this case, you can just say, during your onboarding orientation, we're going to fill out the SLM questionnaire. The questionnaire will help you to have a white glove experience setting up all your KDB technology. SLM is a partner of our office to help with all things KDB technology and will be a big part of your KDB journey as an agent. All right, or option number three is where basically you'll be utilizing this similar to how you were using Winmore before and doing everything for the agent. So in this case, you could actually just send them something, welcome aboard. You're about to receive an email from no-reply@system.kdb.com with the subject line of KDB invitation. Once you receive that email, please send that back to me to complete your onboarding for you. All right, and then, hey, you're also going to receive a setup or a Keller Cloud setup complete email from Scout Laura Marketing. So these are just a couple different ways to help out on here. Ideally, all three of these are perfectly fine with us. Whatever works the best for y'all. If there's a fourth way that you're thinking about doing it, that works too. These are just top three that we thought of that may help out. Now, inevitably, at the end of the day, the goal on here is that we will need that questionnaire after they've set up their login and password. So similar before, where they would receive that new associate at kdb.com email with the username and password, or similar to how you might have received it previously. This is going to be crucial so that way we can get that username and password from the agent right away. All right, so when that is done, what is it going to look like on here when we actually set up the agents directly? All right, so first and foremost, one thing that is not changing is that you are going to receive that first draft for leadership, and then you're also going to receive that setup complete email. The one thing that is changing, though, is it's going to look a little bit better. So previously, it was a little bit harder to read on a mobile phone. It was a little bit harder to read depending on if you were on light or dark mode. So we adjusted that to help y'all out. So first and foremost on here, this is what that first draft's going to look like. And if you aren't receiving that first draft, please let us know, because this is what goes out to the office leadership when an agent is set up. So that first draft is basically letting you know that our tier 1 team has completed that agent setup, and it's in the hands of our tier 2 team to get everything adjusted for compliance and accuracy. So you'll still be CC'd on that email. So on here, for instance, it came over to our tier 2 team, and then it was CC'd with Ashley on here. And then whenever the final email comes out, the agent will be sent a copy, and then you'll be blind carbon copied instead. And this portion will be missing from that final email. All right, but this is what the agent's going to receive. They'll receive that Keller Cloud setup complete with their name and their market center number. This nice little GIF on here that's going to say, "Welcome to Keller Williams, where entrepreneurs thrive." And then it's going to say, "Welcome aboard to Keller Williams. Please click here to access all of your new information." And then here's the password, which will be your market center number. So each office is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be your market center number. All right, but in this case on here, once you click here, there you go. It's going to take you over to slmonboarding.com/your market center number, and then a bunch of computer generated letters and numbers on here. Now, this is going to be a distinct link for the agent to keep. So in this case, the agent can actually bookmark this page if they want to, and then they can come back to this at any time and put inside their market center number to access their information. The office staff, y'all can also bookmark this too and save this as the agent's name, or you can also, once again, save that email on here as well and put that under any label you might want to for onboarding. All right, so once I put inside the market center number, so I'll put in 123 for the example one on here. This is what it's going to look like moving forward. So similar to what we had before, we had the little video up here of how they can actually read the setup complete email, welcoming them aboard. Here's their, MC number to access our website. If there's any additional notes that we have for the agents, it'll be highlighted up here. Like on this one, please reply to this email with your professional bio and picture. All right, but then we're going to include on here, here's the agent's username and password for all the KDB platforms and what's connected for there. Here's their G Suite or Google Workspace email and password, and once again, how they can utilize it. So this is going to be the same information that we had previously on our setup complete email in a more visual, at least visually appealing aspect for you. So we're going to have the Command IDX website, agent profile, what their command email is. So what is that reply to email that they can utilize through command for smart plans or campaigns? What's their consumer app mobile link? Keller Home Loans. We have made the adjustment on here. So if you've noticed this over the past couple of days, it doesn't say Keller Mortgage anymore. All right. And then, of course, Keller Covered, how they can purchase Twilio. On here, what is their Homekeeper login and password? And it should have the DocuSign login and password on here. It looks like my example did not include that on it. So even on here for the example, we were leaving that off, but typically they'll have DocuSign on there also. And then in addition to that, for all the extra links, here's what's available for Calendly on here. Here's what's available for Blink, and then also what's available for their Zoom account. Below that, there are helpful resources that are available, like some royalty-free media sites, answers.kdb.com, KDB Connect, Ignite, our training, some next steps for the agents, and some support numbers and emails on here. All right. So once again, this is going to come out for the agents to receive, and there will be a DocuSign option on there. It looks like that was left off when we were sending over this test one for me to use. All right, but that'll come over once again as that draft email. All right, so that first draft email that'll go to the leadership and our checking team, and then finally over to the agent where you'll be blind carbon copied on it still. So what you received before, you'll still receive all those logins and passwords moving forward. All right. Now, looking at this, though, if we go back on here and we're taking a look at everything, a couple other things that are going to be adjusted. So once again, we are launching a new smart plan for agents during their onboarding. So beyond the 10 KWI smart plans that we launch, and then also Kimber Walton's 36 Touch, we're also launching this new 30-day KW Agent Challenge. This is our 30-day challenge that agents will have access to. That's now 30 items in 30 days that'll be task-oriented. So in this case, this is meant to help the agents to learn more about the KW platform, implement and integrate with all the KW technology, and then learn more about our services. So adoption is very big on this 30-day challenge. Now, this is automatically set up for the agents, and we're adding them as a contact in their command account so they can link to this immediately. And it's all just going to be tasks that'll show up inside Command Forum. So day one on here, for instance, is to download your Command mobile app and sign in. Day two on here is to download your KDB consumer app and create an account. And if you notice on all these, it'll actually say, hey, do you need help? Reach out to support@scottleroymarketing.com and reference the day that you are on for us to help out further. Now, this is meant to do 3 items. So one, these tasks are meant to basically help the agents to integrate and adopt the KDB technology even quicker. All right, 2, it's meant for the agents to actually learn who we are and how we can help out. So on here, for instance, if I go down to day 6 on here, export your contacts from your phone, email, etc., to send to SLM support. And then on top of that, hey, over here on day 7, email those CSV files to our team and we can help to import them for you. So these are also meant to allow the agents to learn more about the free services that we're providing for them to help them out. And then the third item is really to give them an idea as to what a Smartplan is going to look like. So once they actually launch this for any of their clients, if there are any tasks, if there are any phone calls, any text, if they don't have Twilio set up, this is going to help out tremendously. And this is automatically being done for all agents on there too. Now for Calendly, it's going to look similar to this, where they're going to have their own specific URL, a 30-minute general real estate consultation. And then on top of that, once they click on this, it'll just have a different way for people to go through and actually secure times on here where they can actually say, hey, I'd like to meet up with you. So this is just another way that the agent can say, hey, feel free to grab time on here and let's chat whenever it may be convenient for you. All right, whatever it might be, whether they're talking to a vendor, whether they're talking to a potential lead, talking to another agent about a referral, whatever it might be, this is just going to be another option for them to use. Now, the question I have been getting a lot from offices is, now that agents are being set up with these items like Calendly, like Blink, like Zoom and whatnot, can other agents in the office be set up with this as well? And can office staff be set up with it? And the answer is yes. So that existing agent questionnaire that I highlighted very briefly in the beginning on here, that existing agent questionnaire, all right, starting approximately next week, agents will start to get set up with all these items as well too, so you'll have access to it. All right, then same with Blink. They'll actually be able to download the Blink app if they want to share their business card. We have our own little cover photo we have on here set up for them. This will have the office logo, the agent's headshot, or just a KDB logo if they don't have a headshot yet, all the agent's information, and then all their contact info. So everything we can pull from that My Profile section, everything from our questionnaire to help out even further on here. All right, so in this case, we can actually go through and highlight everything possible. All right, and a question came over, I think it was a direct message on here, so thank you. The CSV file is comma separated values. It's basically a type of Excel file where you're gonna have different information in each column on there. It's like a column for first name, column for last name, column for email, so on and so forth. All right, so this is gonna be set up for the agents as well too. And then in addition to that are the websites. Now, this is where everything is being adjusted even further. So for the time being, until the new sites officially launch at the end of Q2, all these extra pages are going to be added in for the agents. So they won't have to go through our support page anymore to add these in. All right, we're going to add these in much like we do for cappers moving forward. But the one page I did want to highlight for y'all is the company page, because it's going to be a little bit more vibrant, less text oriented. It is going to highlight more imagery on here, but it's going to be meant to do 2 things. One, it's meant for the agents to learn a little bit more about how they can actually, become an agent at Keller Williams. So if they want to come on here and join, if you notice, we're going to have the Charge the Storm in Real Estate on here video from Family Reunion, and then obviously whatever video comes out in Mega Camp that might be about recruitment or joining Keller Williams, obviously we'll switch that out and highlight that one instead for new agents. But then also, if someone's thinking about utilizing them as an agent to help them buy or sell a home, this will hopefully help to convince them too. All right, so it's definitely meant to do a couple things for the agent directly. Now, one big thing I do want to highlight as well before I go back on here and we hop into step 5 that I was talking about is I do want to highlight inside CommandMC. So we're actually inside the CommandMC backend now. this is one place where you'll be able to find some information. So you may receive an email potentially, all right, you may receive an email potentially from us saying that, hey, unfortunately, we aren't able to log into the agent's account on here. And if that comes through, that's okay. All right, don't worry about it. That happens all the time where it's, hey, we need to go through and we need to get that login and password adjusted. And to give you an example on here, here's what that email may look like. All right, so it's going to say, hello, the login and password for the agent listed below is not letting us into agent.kw.com at this time. If you have their login and password, that'd be very helpful. All right, if not, please provide the agent's username, can be found in CommandMC under Associates. And if you're able to change the recovery email to support@scoutlivermarketing.com, once again, under Associates, that'd be thoroughly appreciated. All right, and then here's an image of what that'll actually look like and where you can find everything on here. So if you do receive that, that just means that, maybe the login and password that the agent gave to us, unfortunately, isn't working quite yet on here. But once you click on this associates section under CommandMC, you'll be able to search for the associate on here. And this is going to show their status, obviously, what roles they have. And once you click on this, then it's going to pop up with their information. Now, the two big items that we would need to focus on is one, what is their username? So this will also be read-only over inside the white pages, but you can find it right here under that CommandMC Associates tab. And then two, to change that recovery email to our email address. So I know this is primarily about onboarding, but if you're offboarding an agent as well too, this is a great way to let us know, hey, here's the agent's username. We've changed that recovery email on here as well to be your support email. So now before they're out of CommandMC, we can help to offboard them for you. All right. This last email is going to be the support, or it's going to be the recovery email that you can change to support. So when I click edit, here's where we can adjust that recovery email on here, and you can change it to our support@scoutlivermarketing.com email. So that way we can get that adjusted for the agent right away and get them fully set up so they can get that setup complete email from us. All right, so once again, I always like to highlight that is under CommandMC through the Associates section. And then once you are in CommandMC and you click on the associate, it's going to be under General Information for the username. And then this third email down is going to be the recovery email that you'll want to change to our support email address. So then that way we can actually reset their login and password to get them fully set up on everything possible. All right, so the final two things I'll cover on here. So outside of the onboarding changes, what all is included in our virtual tech services offering beyond the onboarding for agents. So beyond that, obviously, we have the tech onboarding. We also have our live daily training classes. So the link that you are on right now is also our link that we're using every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time for live training classes. Those classes are also recorded. We have all of our challenges and cheat sheets for agents, all of our troubleshooting support for agents, our support help for agents, like actually importing databases, launching Smartplans. We have leadership support, offboarding help, much like I kind of highlighted briefly over inside the associates section on here of how to find the username and the recovery password option. And then, of course, we even have WordPress websites that are free for y'all to use and marketing templates. And then if you are looking for something to share, this is all accessible on what was currently accessible and then what was launching May 8th and afterwards. So that way you can see everything that we're now doing for the agents to help out even further. All right, so I know I went through a bunch of stuff in the past 30 minutes. So I'm going to do one more quick run through on here, and then I'll open it up for a Q&A. So first and foremost, I'm going to put this back in the chat section so y'all can have these links on here. And then these links will also be in the description of the video later on tonight. All right, but this is the first link for this entire overview right here, talking about everything that is accessible. All right, this is the link just for our setup questionnaire. All right, then of course we talked about all the different canned responses for those 3 different ways to actually get the agents fully up and running. All right, and then of course we have our Smartplan. That'll automatically be added in for the agents, or if you want to find this for existing agents, what you can do under the Smartplan section is whenever you're actually searching for one, I may have to come back to this in a second if it's loading on here, is search for the author of Scout Leroy, and you'll be able to view that right away. All right. We also have our new Calendly link that'll be available for agents, our new Blink digital business card as well too. And then of course, all of our different pages that are available on here. So if you want to see what those new setup complete websites are going to look like, this will help out tremendously. And then if you do want an example of what that setup complete email will look like, remember the password is 123. This does not include DocuSign, but that will be included on it. So whenever you actually receive one for your agents, you'll see that on there. But that'll help out tremendously. All right. So I know some questions have been coming in. So Elizabeth, thank you for answering on there. So I'm going to see if any questions are coming in. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question you want to ask, or you can put it inside the chat section as well too. All right, but I just saw one that came in. So did you say that SLM follow-up plan was automatic or something that agents opt into? Great question. So it was going to be something that the agents would opt into, but then we heard overwhelming feedback to make it automatic. So it is automatically done for agents moving forward, or if agents currently want to take advantage of this, they can also go under the library section on here. And under library, if they search for the author name of Scott Leroy, all right, there's going to be one smart plan that's going to come up on here. 2 5 stars from myself and Elizabeth. And then that way you can add in the smart plan immediately. So that way they can have access to that right away. All right. And Jordan, you're spot on. Yep. So this is going to be, this is being recorded. It's going to be available later on today. Going to put it on YouTube for anyone that wasn't able to make it today. And then we're going to have the exact same overview on Thursday, just obviously with the Q&A on there too. And all the links will be in the description as well too. But I really wanted to give you all kind of a deep dive on this. Oh, thank you. And so I want to give you a deep dive on everything, on what we're doing over here, how you can utilize everything as well, and then some of the best practices, especially with this, since now obviously the agents aren't being added into WinMore, but they're being added over inside CommandMC directly. All right, and then this will also be in the description, but if you guys do want to set up anytime, just one-on-one with the office, that is my leadership description one as well too, just to help out immediately on there. And thank you, Amy. Yeah, so I love the new social media welcomes. Will those be sent for all agents or just those who send over their photo? Unfortunately, right now, it's just agents that put a headshot in. But if they put in a KW logo, then that'll actually come in as their headshot that they can actually display as well too. And that just goes out to the office on there as well. Right, so it's just going out to the office leadership. So yeah, Jennifer, I saw that you had a question on there. So feel free to shoot away. And then Stacy, I saw a question just came in. Can we customize our websites from here? Yeah, so the main stuff that we'll be setting up on the websites are going to be all these additional pages on here to help out. And then we're going to be having some additional updates and changes once the new sites are launching at the end of Q2. So once that actually occurs, we'll be able to kind of adjust that right away. But if there are any other tweaks that you might be looking for, feel free to let us know. We can always see what we can do to help out with that. One big thing I do want to highlight for y'all that we do this for a lot of offices. If you have vendors, preferred vendors that you need added on for mortgage compliance, whether it's for mortgage, lenders, title companies, let us know and we can make a code to add in on there so that way you can actually receive, I don't know what the exact name is of it, but you can receive that actual money from the mortgage directly to kind of get that each month. And Elizabeth, I saw you have a question on here.
Yes, sir. It was one that stumped me. Are we going to be linking their Calendly to their KW email addresses?
Yes. So the Calendly account will be under the kw.com email as long as they say that they're going to be utilizing that as their business email. So each time
and then do we add it to the Google Calendar, like in the application settings too?
Oh, good question. We have not yet, and we should be doing that. So I'm going to add that as a thing for us to do because that's a great add-on feature. So not yet, but yes. So
great idea, Buff.
Yeah. And then Jennifer, I saw you unmute yourself, please, by all means.
So I'm new to this role and I have our team leader had put a new agent in under recruit. So now what do I do next? I have all their information that I'm going to put in for them.
Love it. Yep. So once you actually have them, then you can click under the committed section. If you're in that committed phase inside the opportunity, or in this case, inside the recruit opportunity, then you can actually click that option for them to join or to invite them basically. And then once you do that, you can go through and utilize any of these three methods that, well, these are the three at least that I may suggest just for us to get them onboarded. Because once you click that option for them to join and they're invited, then they're going to
Well, we
receive
have them on, they already onboarded, but because it's brand new, we just had them filled out. Now we're going to go into command. So like, what are my next steps in command?
Oh, very cool. Okay, yeah. So in this case, so now they've already gone through. So they've filled out that paperwork. That's all done on there. So then that should automatically add them directly over here, where you'll actually have them as the associate inside the associate section. So you should be good to go. And then typically at the very bottom, there'll actually be an option to activate the agent. And then once you click on that, that'll allow you on there. Yeah. And if you haven't gotten that setup complete email from us, feel free just to send to support@scoutleroymarketing.com. Like, hey, here's the information that we want to highlight. Here's the agent's email. Here's their name. And then we can reach out to them directly with our questionnaire so we can get that full white glove onboarding done for them.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And then Amy, great question. I know you said on here for existing agents who would like updates, if we send out a blast to all agents, letting them know that this is a good time to get an update, is that too overwhelming for you or better to send out in batches? I'm never against in batches, but I'll leave it up to you. You're in charge of your own fate on there. So I won't say no to batches though. So, but completely up to you in this case. Thank you. Yeah, so I didn't know if anyone else had any other questions. And once again, this is being recorded, so it will be available a little bit later on today. All right, so if you do have any questions, yeah, go ahead.
Scott, I do have a question, sorry. So I'm transferring from KW Energy to KW Inspire. So I already have all of my login credentials and whatnot, but when they created our websites, there was something that went wrong. And so my agent information, like when you go to my website, my agent information isn't there. So I'm very interested in learning on how to fix that. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't say Stacy Walker and then have all my contact information unless you go in and you're actually looking at a property, then there's a little something there. But if you don't look at the property, it's not there. And I was wondering if you're the right person to help me with that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So one thing that we may look for is kind of getting inside your command account to take a look at it. The one thing I can think of troubleshooting it right now to be safe, if it's not coming up with your information, is to first and foremost double check under your name up here at the top right. Always go through that settings section on here.
Okay.
It's under settings. This is where you'll be able to get in the backend settings of all the different command applications, all the different tools you might utilize. But under connect settings on here, there's a marketing profile.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first thing that I personally would check. Under the marketing profile, I would make sure use my information to brand my agent is selected as green and it's on, and that your information is displaying on here as well too, because this is how that is going to display on your site with all of your info directly.
Okay, wonderful. That's super helpful, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then I did see a question. So Christine, so slightly unrelated. Oh, never mind. All right. Elizabeth answered that.
Well, if you do know the answer, that was my workaround answer, because KW support or mcaanswers.kw.com doesn't really say just once it's expired.
I was going to say I would double check and see if you're able to click the join button again. I have not clicked it. I've avoided that like the plague over here because I don't want to mess anything up. So if people have been asking about that, I've just been saying, here you go. So Amy just said on there, you can withdraw it and then resend. So thank you, Amy. Noted. I'm going to mark that down on here because I have not done that method yet and I don't want to say anything incorrectly. So I appreciate that. Yeah, Jordan, go ahead.
So just to piggyback on that, when you're in the contact card, when they're in the committed phase, you click on the 3 ellipses and it says withdraw invitation, and then you just resend it right away, and then it goes to the top of their inbox.
Perfect. Thank you. That makes it even easier. We'll add that inside our note on here too. So thank you. So All right, so any other questions that y'all might have on here? Hopefully this was informational, gave you all a little bit more of an update of everything going on. And once again, this is going to come back out in one of those fantastic emails that I'm sure y'all love getting all the time, where it has this little header on here. So it's going to be coming out with that. And then we are going to be doing this again on Thursday. So if any questions come up between now and then, feel free to come back on. Or of course, I know that Calendly option that I put on there too. Feel free to book time so that way we can, jump on here, chat one-on-one, make sure you're utilizing all of our services 100% as well too. Yeah, so finding the active agent over inside Command. So once they are active, you'll go through CommandMC. And I will say this, because I have a couple different locations that I'm under, it will be dependent on your role. So I'm only able to access, for instance, on my side, I've got Market Center Tech Trainer for a couple different locations. I'm only able to access this associate section personally under Market Center Leader. Now, obviously, if you're under as MCA team leader, it's going to be a little bit different. But once you go under associates, then that's where everything is going to display on here for you to actually search and then see their status to access immediately. And then once you, if it's not activated on here, so I just reread what you said, so I apologize. If they're not activated, then once you actually click on that, under here, under business at the bottom right, there'll be an activate option that you can select that'll allow you to activate them right away. And then, Elizabeth, you were correct. At the top of the associate card, yes, we'll be able to send that off as well. The reason I was saying that is I just got out of another meeting where we actually were helping someone to activate agents and troubleshooting it. So I was able to see, all right, well, this is where you'll want to click on that as well too. There's a couple options. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. We'll end it a little bit earlier than 4 o'clock hour to give you all about 15 minutes back of your day that you can hopefully spend relaxing. If y'all do need anything, once again, remember this is going to be put on YouTube later on today. We're going to email this back out and that'll help out. Yes. Elizabeth, do you have a snapshot of that? So I unfortunately do not on mine, just based on my role on here, but we can send back over a snapshot of that as well. So yes, so Leslie, we'll send that back over to you of where that is, just to make sure it's accessible on there. Oh, go ahead, Elizabeth. Looks like you put something inside there.
Yep, that's the link to the MCA support article that'll have the screenshot. I think it's like the 3rd screenshot down.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on today. Once again, please feel free to take time on my calendar if you want to chat even further about all of our services. Make sure that you're utilizing everything possible. Buff, you are also the best, so thank you. And then more importantly, be on the lookout for this being uploaded right after this. I'm going to let it process. We'll upload it. And then if you need anything at all, please reach out to us at any time. But more importantly, have a fantastic Tuesday. Enjoy your day. And I hope to see y'all either on Thursday or before that as well, too. All right, so have a great day today, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.